Welcome to part 2 of my planning process, which is why I'm at my desk instead of out in the garden. It's January, it's cold, and it basically looks like snowmageddon out there, which honestly makes this a perfect time to slow down and plan. In my last video, I stayed really big picture, starting with an aerial shot of my property. I used it to identify what's fixed, where the pain points are, how we move through the space, and where conservation landscaping might make sense. In this video, I want to show you how I approached a simple but really important question. Where do I actually start? Because once you see everything laid out like this, it's easy to feel like you have to tackle everything at once. So today I'm trying a different approach. I'm going to break the yard up into sections and decide what to prioritize first. And that's what I'm going to show you today in this video. Different parts of my property have completely different challenges. Water behaves differently in different areas. There's different slopes, some spots get full sun, others are shaded. Some areas have mature trees or permanent structures I need to work around, while others are more of a blank slate. All of that matters because those conditions require different approaches. So instead of treating the whole yard as one big project, I'm going to break them up into discrete sections. And when I say section, I don't mean design style or finished space. I mean areas of the yard that behave similarly or respond to the same conditions. So if I look at my yard from this perspective, I start to see 5 sections emerging. What really defined these sections for me were 3 things: water, light, and slope. In this part of the yard, facing west between the deck and the neighbor's fence, I get very little light and a lot of moisture from the downspouts. There's also a fairly steep slope, which means soil and mulch tend to wash away when it rains. So this area will probably need some kind of retaining wall, along with plants that don't mind wet feet and can handle low light. I'm calling this section 1. Moving south, the slope starts to soften. I still get quite a bit of pooling water, which isn't great this close to the house, and the light conditions are more mixed. This will be section 2. Out front, facing south, things change quite a bit. The ground is completely flat, it gets full sun, and it's relatively dry, or at least I don't see pooling water here. So this area will need plants that love sun but can also tolerate occasional swings between wet and dry. This will be section 3. Moving north along the other side of the house, the shade starts to come back. The ground stays fairly flat, but there's another downspout, so moisture becomes an issue again. This is section 4. And then continuing further north, things get even more interesting. I have a lot more shade from these large canopy trees, significant runoff from the neighbors' yards, and conditions that can honestly feel almost flood-like during heavy rains. And on top of that, there are 2 black walnut trees which release a chemical called juglone that many plants can't tolerate. So in this section, I'll have to focus on plants that can handle shade, lots of water, and juglone. This will be section 5. Now that I have all my sections clearly mapped out, the next question is where to start. For me, the top priority is protecting the house from water runoff and pooling, so I'm starting with the sections closest to the house. Sections 1, 2, and 3. But every property is different. If water isn't your main issue, you might want to prioritize something else, like cost, starting with the cheapest projects, or effort, tackling the lowest hanging fruit first, or the hardest thing first, curb appeal, or simply whatever part of the garden brings you the most joy. So this video wasn't about solutions yet, it was really about breaking the project down so it feels manageable. In the next video, I'll walk through my plans for sections 1 through 3 and some of the design challenges I'm already grappling with. If you're working through a similar process or just trying to figure out where to start with your own yard, I hope you'll stick around. I'll see you in the next one.